Like Stars on Earth, 2007 Indian film directed by and starring Aamir Khan, written by Amolay Gupte, who was originally also going to be the director of the film, but because he wasn't doing a very good job on set, Khan quickly took over instead and finished the movie that way. It's very highly scored on IMDb and pretty well reviewed, but I have to say I think it's overrated. The story follows a young boy named Ishan who is having trouble at school because of his undiagnosed dyslexia. He can't seem to focus, letters and numbers are a big problem for him to follow and understand, and nobody, not the parents, not the teachers, seems willing to find out what's going on, instead scolding him for being lazy and dumb and worse than his brother who excels at every subject at school. Eventually Ishan is sent to a boarding school by his father, who is too impatient to deal with the boy anymore. And the initial weeks there are an absolute nightmare, but then things begin to change slowly when Ishan meets a young, slightly crazy substitute teacher named Ram. So, as I said at the beginning, I think the film's high scores are overblown. I kind of get why many people have liked it. It's very heartwarming, it has its emotional core in the right place, the performances are very good, the songs and dance numbers, after all this is a Bollywood film, are solid. Parts of the film reminded me of things like Mary Poppins or Dead Poets Society, where a warm, kind of kind mentor figure shows up to break the mold of rigid school system and help the children along. And this film also comments on that, on the Indian education as well as the ever-present race to the top, to be a doctor or an engineer, and to kill all individuality in the young students. However, my central problem with the film comes with the way its story was structured. So, sometimes you have a movie where the entire plot hinges on the characters not doing the reasonable thing. And you watch it and you think to yourself, well, if they just did this or they talked about that, the whole movie would be over in 15 minutes. Like Stars on Earth is kind of the opposite, in the way that the film does take the obvious path to its resolution, and for some reason still ends up going for 2 hours 45 minutes. I mean, the entire structure is like this. A problem is introduced. For a while it goes unresolved, creating drama. Then a character comes on stage, immediately identifies the problem, proposes a solution, everybody else agrees to implement that solution, and they do that, and things end up great. The conflict resolved itself, and if you condensed it down, removed all the Bollywood songs and montage sequences and so on, it would probably be half an hour long at most. And again, I can kind of understand that some people can justify the movie to be as long as it is by saying that this is an important point of view, an important message to get out there, and they have a point. Others may simply enjoy the film for the feel-good factor, for the drawn-out optimism it goes into. But for me personally, neither of those things was enough. When I watch a film as long as this one, I need either compelling drama or for it to be somehow engrossing on some technical or emotional level. This one I felt was neither, and it does not justify its runtime in any way. Cool central idea, important message to get out there, sure, but the execution just doesn't quite work for me.